Here's how to fix an annoying fault with the MGF clock, whereby if you try and adjust it, only the minute hand will move and the hour hand stays exactly where it is. Obviously you can just disconnect the battery and wait for the time to be correct and reconnect it when you're in the right hour, and then move the minute hand to the correct minutes for that hour. But if you want a fully adjustable clock, here is how to do it. This little clock is made by VDO in Germany. It's common in lots of German cars, as well as the British cars that MG Rover built, I guess because of the BMW link. I watched a YouTube video here about somebody fixing their Porsche clock, and it's very similar, and it got me thinking about fixing this one. So you actually don't need to take it apart very much to fix the issue with the hands. If you want to take the whole mechanism out of the barrel and take the whole thing apart, you will need to undo this bezel on the outside. So what I've done is simply got a screwdriver down between the barrel and the bezel and just gently levered it all the way around. So it's slightly misshapen now, but it now comes off that lip. It's obviously been machined on there in the factory. And that's all you need to do if you want to fix this issue. If you want to get the whole mechanism out, you also have to unsolder that pin there, which is the earth pin for the circuit board inside. I didn't realise I didn't need to do that, so I've actually taken this one fully apart so I can show you what it looks like inside. But returning now just to the simple repair of the adjuster, once you have very carefully levered the bezel all the way around, it will actually lift off, taking the glass and the adjuster with it. Inside the clock is this gasket, and that just sits in to make it look pretty so you can't see the silver on the edges. And then the hands are mounted as you'd expect on a conventional clock, minute hand on top of hour hand. And the issue you've got with the lack of adjustment is that the minute hand no longer grips the spline, or the shaft should I say, that sticks up into it, and therefore it just turns on that shaft and it won't then have enough torque to move the hour hand. I fixed this one now, so if you'll see, if I move the minute hand, the hour hand moves with it. And all I did was gently, I can do it with one hand, get a fingernail or two underneath that minute hand. Let me just do that now and lift it out. And I've folded up a tiny piece of paper, which you might be able to see. Zoom in. And can you see I've put a tiny bit of white paper in there just to make that hole a little bit smaller, and then it grips that shaft properly and no longer spins on it, and then that moves the whole mechanism, and it was really as easy as that. So if you don't need to take it apart anymore to fix it, you can simply then put it back together again, obviously check it works first, and then get this bezel back on. You can see I've fairly nudged it there, but that's okay. And then all you have to do then is gently lever that back into position so that it seals on the edge of the clock barrel, and the job's done. I'll just show you what it looks like since I've actually got this one apart. So I unsoldered that point there, and that takes the mechanism out, and there is the clock mechanism there. Pretty simple little quartz clock. The little circuit board. You can see the gears there. The issue that I've had with it, with the adjustments, seems to be pretty common, and I haven't heard actually of many other problems with these clocks, so they're pretty reliable otherwise. But once I finish this video, I'm simply going to put it back together again, check those hands still work, give it a quick clean. I can see a speck of dust there. I'll get this bezel back on, lever it back into position so it closes down, and put the clock back in the car. I hope this was useful. It's certainly easier to repair, I think, than have to buy a new clock. It obviously costs you absolutely nothing. To give you an idea of the size of the piece of paper, it's literally, what, 2 millimeters thick, and I used just the very end of that. So it's probably maybe 2 millimeter squared piece of paper. This is fairly thick paper, this. I should think 80 GSM is probably good enough, but this is just slightly thicker and seemed to work pretty well. Right, happy MGing, and I'll see you in the next video.